Good day, dear professor. I want to say a few words before you start. For our participants, it's our professor, our honorable guest, Sergii Kurta from the Precarpathian National University, from Ukraine, Ivano-Frankivsk. That's the professor of our partner university in the frame of the Collegium Carpathicum, supported by International Visegrad Fund. And today we will have interesting and not usual lecture for the Collegium. As you see on title, chewing gum based on natural honey wax and bee glue for the prevention and treatment for periodontal disease. So, as you see and as you hear, this topic is, how I said, very unusual, but from other side, very interesting and very useful for all of us, because today is the question of health question, and care of yourself is one of the base things that we have to do. So, dear professor, thank you one more time for agreeing to be a participant of our project and for preparing this lecture. And we, with great pleasure, we will hear your lecture, we will see your presentation, and we will try to follow your advices in our lives about this topic, and try to prevent different disease. Welcome.
Thank you very much for your attention, and let me start. You can see my presentation.
Yes, we can see your presentation.
On the this variant, all information. Do you see, Ken?
Yes.
Let me start. Okay, thank you very much. And let me introduce my presentation about our work. The chewing gum based on the natural caramelized honey, wax and bee glue. Oh, sorry, but this.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Is the Ukrainian variant. Let me introduce the presentation about our work, chewing gum based on natural caramelized honey, wax and bee glue for the prevention and treatment of periodontal diseases, which we made by the team of the chemistry department, Vasyl Stefanyk, Precarpathian National University from the Ivano-Frankivsk, Ukraine. Second slide, you can see the periodontal diseases of the teeth. According to the World Health Organization data, which are based on the observation of the 53 countries, include the Ukraine, periodontist is the adult population is diagnostic in the 19-50% patient with the diseases of the periodontal on gingivitis, periodontitis, and periodontal. Periodontal diseases are caused by health disorder and the human body infection, as well as the physical emotion stress of the person, and result in the catastrophic loss of the teeth. Therefore, the periodontal diseases are a medical problem as well as a social problem. So the solution of this problem is very actual today. In the second slide, you can see some very interesting bee product. The purpose of our work in this creation and research of the properties and the efficiency of the chewing gum based on natural caramelized honey, wax, and bee glue for the gum and teeth protection and prevention for the various diseases, especially periodontal. Prevention and treatment of dental diseases is assumed by the working hypothesis that the effect of the chewing gum is due to the high efficiency to the nanoparticles of caramelizing honey, wax, and bee glue in the preparing composition of our chewing gum. By their mutual synergetic amplification of each other, as it happened in the zabrus and the honeycomb, where all three of this product is present. We make in chewing gum, and we make the special form of chewing gum. In the 30th slide, we can see the different symbols of the various monofloras as polyfloras crystallized bee honey. The process of crystallizes of honey is influenced by various factors. The most important factor of the crystallization of the honey is the ratio of the glucose and fructose in honey, which varies is range fructose 54 and glucose 46%. And the water content 16 and 20 in honey, crystallization process rapidly. With the larger amount up 21% water, honey remains liquid states and colorless for a long time. No, for example, of the figure 2, the acacia and the lime honey may be liquid for the 2 months. Dissolver decrystallized of solid honey according to the classical scheme by heat through the reactor wall with the steering when the heating by electric heating and the or a water jacket to the temperature 50-30 degree percent Celsius for the 8 or 12 hour. Figure 5 is a classical equipment for the dissolved crystallized honey. But we, for the solution of crystallized honey, we offer the alternative method, including the low temperature isothermal express method of the heat treatment using ultra high frequency in the microwave rotary reactor. Figure 6, you can see this microwave laboratory reactor for the solid phase reaction, produce the millstone from Italy. On the slide number 6, we can see the natural honey bee before and after heat treatment in microwave rotation. The main factor influence of the process of the crystallization honey is present center of the crystallization. Honey contains a number primary crystal around which the crystallization of the glucose grape sugar. However, the great influence of the size of crystal and the number has the presence of the pollen grain of plants. As can be seen of this figure number 7.1, the size the pollen in the honey before the processes diameters is the 100 micron. In the 10 or 20 times larger than the size pollen per particle in the honey after low temperature express processing in microwave reaction. Figure number 7.2. When the honey becomes transferred and the size pollen decreasing, the diameter average 10 microns.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
I can see only the first page on the presentation. I think it's blocked for the presentation on the first page. Where is the title?
I don't understand. Repeat, please.
I think that you didn't roll the presentation slides, you know.
But you can see what's the slide you can see of this presentation, but I don't.
For this moment, the first one. The
first one.
Yes, and you have to roll it to the next one, to the third or fourth even.
Sorry, but I don't know what the promise, what the reason. But you can you cannot to see another slide of my presentation.
No, this is like a small one, you know. It's like. Can you just click on this? Oh, it's like the next one. It's the third
yes,
one.
I know. Yes. But maybe so my computer, but I cannot to represent of all size of slide. Maybe I present of this form. Maybe.
Yeah. It's like now it's simple.
Okay. It's I can to start to time, but I cannot to do it.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, but it's for my fall. And according of this slide, we can see the periodontal diseases of the teeth. And therefore, periodontal diseases are no medical problem as well as a social problem. And another slide, we can see the API products by product of the bee. For example, honeycomb, Zabrus, honey, wax, and bee glue, bee wax, bee pollen, bee glue, and liquid bee honey. But our method to the made of our having gum include of this product of our gum. In this slide, we can see the simple of different various monofluorine and polyfluorine crystal bee honey, and in the process of crystallization honey in influence of area factor, and the famous important the factor of crystallization of the honey is the ratio of glucose and fructose in honey, which the various range. For example, in the honey, we can include the fructose 54% and glucose 46%. The water contained in the honey 60 to 20%. And crystallization process is rapidly with the large amount is up to 21% water. A honey remain liquid state of the colorless and so long time. For example, the figure for acacia and lime honey may be liquid for 6 months. On this slide, we can see the equipment for the dissolvent on crystallization honey. By classic method is left, figure number 5, and our method is microwave laboratory reactor, rotary reaction, the solid phase reactor, products by the Millstone, Italy. Dissolver of our solid honey, we provide on this reactor. And but this is alternative of the method, and very so quickly and the low temperature. On this sixth slide, we can see the microscope photon, the natural honey before the left photo 71, and after the photo 72, the heat treatment in the microwave rotary reactor. with a particle pollen. You can see on the photo 71 the size of the pollen maybe so 0.1 millimeters, and after the treatment, heat treatment, the pollen is decreased to the 10 times to the size 0.01 millimeter. And the other figure, the number figure 8, number 1 and the number 4, we can see the mono photograph, the crystal glucose and the saccharosa and the natural bee honey after the 6 months of storage at the 16 on the 21 degree. The figure number 8.1. Crystallization honey, the size is average on the 1000 micron. But the figure 8.2, we can see the honey after the low temperature, 50 degree, isothermal acceleration processing in microwave, 1 minute 6 seconds, and the storage for 6 months. We can see that the size of the crystal is very small after our treatment method. On the another slide, figure number 9, we can see the diagram of a compared distribution of nanoparticles average size, the natural honey, macromolecules, red cover, and the nanoparticle caramelization method after the treatment degree. And you can see that the size of the crystal, the nanoparticle polysaccharide macromolecules is of the caramelization method after treatment is the 2 times less than the natural honey before the treatment. Okay, on the we can see the figure number 10, high biological activity, the great diastase number in the unit of Gotti, and reduce of the toxic content in honey, the hydroxyfurfural in the caramelizing honey. That's the then natural main. We are looking for the develop and implement of new industrial biotechnology for the synthesis caramelization honey with a high biochemical activity. This will make the possible to create new type, the herring gum, based of this product. In the figure number 11, we can see the result of X-ray fluorescent analysis of the content, the chemical elements and their compound, the oxide elements in natural and caramelizing honey after the treatment. Much more numbers of different elements and their compounds were discovered in the caramelizing honey that is a natural than the natural honey. In the figure 11, using our result, we can go into develop of new technology and equipment for the industrial production of caramelizing honey and herring gum based of the natural product. On other slide, number 11, the picture number 12, in the we can see the photo, color natural honey before and after processing with the heating treatment honey. The left sample is a light yellow color natural honey, and the right sample, as you can see, the brown color caramelization honey. Additionally, I would like to say that the project implementation of our results. Our result is solved social and economic problem. For example, full provision of the population of the Ukraine and other world countries with the having gum based on the natural beekeep product at the same replace of the synthetic and general modification having gum produce product that the harmful health and replace them the natural bee product. On this slide, we can see the laboratory sample of prophylactic having gum named the Medivnik honeycomb, made of caramelized honey, wax, and bee glue. We list the manufacturing prototype laboratory sample of the having gum in the from suite, and you can see the patent of the prophylactic having gum Medivnik honeycomb was obtained in Ukraine. I can see that the our having gum honeycomb is recommended as a prophylactic and therapy agent for the periodontal diseases and other dental diseases, teeth and gum. After 10 to 15 minutes, having gum was reduced can be throughout. Storage recommended of temperature is range 16 to 21. The shelf life is 1 year. As such, our prophylactic having gum, Medivnik honeycomb, was patented in the Ukraine. On this slide, we can see the result prevention clinical trials of the preventive gum on the basis of caramelization honey. Therefore, the periodontal disease are a medical problem as well as social problem. On this slide, we can see the positive result of the previous clinical trial of our prevention gum candy, Medivnik honeycomb, based on the caramelization honey and the research and education center of molecular microbiology and immunology of mucous membrane, the Uzhgorod Nation University, which is led by the Professor Nadia Boyko. Previous clinical research of the sample having gum, Medivnik honeycomb, where showed the positive result in the 27 patients among the 36 patients. We got a very good result. 75% of patients becomes healthy. And the end, we can see this slide, the conclusion. And I can say that I thank you for the attention for me and our author. And now I would to propose to all the members of our presentation to see this photo and to try the having gum Medivnik honeycomb online. The test delicious for you. Our authors, the Nadia Boyko, the doctor of biology, professor and head of the scientific research of education center, the molecular microbiology from the Uzhgorod Nation University. You can see our production, the mark of our having gum Medivnik honeycomb, and you can see some simple the having gum Medivnik honeycomb of this photo. And the end of this slide, we can see the 16 slide, we can see the 12 publication and 2 publication and 10 performance authors of the project team is the mass media. And as say the Ukraine, it's better to try than 2 times hear about this. Thank you for your attention from all authors. And I invite to all participants of our lecture to watch the short video about the having gum honeycomb. Let me introduce some video of our presentation. Just a moment, please. Maybe so voice is not so fine, but maybe I comment of this photo.
Okay.
Я прийшов до Ростислава, до мого лікаря, стоматолога, і у мене кровоточили.
This video represent of our doctor. Doctor is a stomatologist, the Rimaliuk Rostislav from the Ukraine, who the first of the stomatology recommended of our having gum for the patient, and we had discussed about our having gum about on your cabinet.
Я прийшов до Ростислава, до мого лікаря, стоматолога, і у мене кровоточили, почали так зараз другої стадії, корше строго трасу. Ця цукерочка представляє себе оболонку з воску, а всередині цей пацієнтів. Таким чином ми це зробили для дорослої людини, яка може поживати чужу, позбутися деяких проблем, які пов'язані з пародонтом. Захворювання пародонтозу, яке виникає в більшості випадків у людей із здоровими зубами, є дуже важко лікованим, але воно лікується. І для цього слід використовувати різноманітні засоби, зокрема медівник. Це починається з захворювання від плеча до першого осла 2 тижні. 99% земної кулі – це ураження.
This end, and I can to listen your question to me.
Dear Professor, maybe you will say to us, can we make this gum like a mass product to sell it on shops, or we just making this at home? Only at home we can do this, or maybe you're planning to sell this.
Yes, I understand. But the industrial product of our having gum we have not, but it's very difficult, the financial problem for us. But we can produce our simple having gum in the our chemical laboratory of the Department of the Chemistry from the Precarpathian University. But sometimes we produce our experimental sample for our patient who the right of the internet page we can see the represent of our sample, and some other patient they write our letters to the internet, and we produce of some simple for them, and to send, and we obtain that so very fine result of this patient, and we can see to recommend so other patient who has a periodontal disease.
So we can order your product just on your webpage of the Precarpathian National University.
Yes, of course. But we have the article of the internet in the Facebook. Our page name the Havingam Medic Honeycomb. We can found of this page the Facebook. In the Facebook.
Okay, thank you, dear professor. Thank you for so interesting lecture, and I think no one can think about that bee and honey can be so useful for our teeth. Thank you again for your participation in our project. Thank you one more time for your lecture. And if there is no questions, I think that we can end our meeting. And I want to say that the record of this meeting we will put on Facebook and on YouTube, and in any moment you can watch it again, or just give a link to your friends, to your I don't know, lecturers or some colleagues. So thank you one more time, and thank you for participation.
And thank you very much for attention to me, and good luck.
Thank you. Good luck. Goodbye.
Goodbye.